OCOTEG, this is Firebird Grey Wolf of Turtle Island, Native Voices Turtle Island TV. I'm a little flustered right now because we had some technical difficulties getting the program started. We're a little bit behind line. Today, I'm very honored to have a special guest, and she is the cultural director of her nation, and that is the Natchitoches Nation.
The Natchitoches tribe of Louisiana.
Okay, so I did pretty good in pronouncing it. I, I was practicing it
Oh,
before you came on, but I got flustered. How are
well,
you today?
I'm very blessed. How are you?
Okay, I can tell you I am so very honored to finally have you on the show. And I was delighted that you chose me as a friend. Your spirit just rang true. And your enthusiasm to promote your culture and your people impressed me very much. The pride is just beautiful.
Oh,
So, can you, yeah,
thank
can you start from the beginning in your life, your connection with your heritage? Were you always a part of your practicing heritage? Or I read somewhere that a lot of you hid. Can you fill me in your personal life a little bit? And we'll go from there.
absolutely. So I was very fortunate to be raised in a much different situation than a lot of my tribal members. The history of Louisiana in itself includes an indigenous history. So I think even if you don't know what tribe you belong to, if you're from Louisiana, you know it's there somewhere. It's just too prevalent in the state's history as a whole. Um, the area that I was born in Louisiana is actually just a little ways down the road from the tribal land that we have now. So I was raised in that community. So even for those who assimilated into the more colonial ways, because the indigenous communities were so strong and our culture is such a part of the history of the state, they still have a lot of those ancestral teaching. They just didn't necessarily know where it was coming from.
Okay, so is your where is your tribe located? Where is your nation? Is it in the capital of the name after your nation,
Yes,
or are you located somewhere else?
yes, we have tribal land in Natchitoches, Louisiana. Well, Natchitoches Parish. The town is actually called Campy, which is a smaller settlement out a little ways from the Natchitoches town itself. But we are in Natchitoches Parish, and we've been on that land since our first encounter with the Europeans. So we were originally in the city of Natchitoches, where the fort today sits. But that was where they first came and moved us, and they kind of moved us, I'd say, about 15 miles outside of there. And that's the town that we still inhabit today.
All right. When you say they moved us, are we talking about colonists from the past, the French, the
Yes,
British?
ma'am. It was actually French soldiers who came and took our area and turned it into a fort.
About what time period was that? Around and about.
So that's actually going to occur in history in the 1700s. Then they relocated us north into Kansas, and so if you Google our tribe, a lot of them are going to tell you that we went extinct once we were forced to merge onto the Trail of Tears with the Caddo Nation. But we had a small group that chose to stay in the land that we were occupying at the time. And so I descend from the ancestors who chose to stay. So we very much hid in plain sight. That did require a lot of assimilation for a lot
Hello.
of them. But it also allowed
Keep
us to
that. We
create.
went out.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't hear you, beautiful.
You froze up, Firebird. Your screen is frozen and we can't hear you. She froze.
Yes.
She might have to, I don't know, maybe go back out and come back in. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah,
it looks like it's
I think
tried.
that's what she's gonna. Yeah, go back out and come back in. In the meantime, do you have a website that anyone who is interested in learning about your tribe can
Yes,
go
the
to?
Natchitoches tribe of Louisiana has the website at natchitochestribe.org.
How do you
I
spell that?
also, it's usually easier for people if they have a visual.
Okay,
So we'll do that.
sure. I'm gonna type it in the chat. Itoches tribe of Louisiana. Yeah, so they just type that in and it should come up.
Absolutely. And then on Facebook, we have a group also. And then one of the endeavors that I'm involved with is that I travel to teach Indigenous culture, history, and current events. And that is
Mm,
going to be a Facebook page called Have Mox Will Travel. It will also have a link to the tribe. We're real easy to find and intermingle.
okay, great, great. Yeah, see, she's not back in yet. Let me see if this is her who's texting me now. Yeah, she's texting me. Let me see what she's saying. Oh no, this is a older text, but it's just coming in now. Okay, let me give me 1 second.
Yes, sir.
Let her know. I'm gonna send her a text now. So I guess in the meantime, you could continue with your thought where you left off at.
So even though a lot of our members' families chose to simulate more in the society and in mainstream culture, because we were able to we created a community that allowed us to keep um, a lot of those traditions quiet, and a lot of things that we held very sacred, not readily available to the public. So, yeah, even though some books have us written into extinction,
Mm,
we're thousands strong. We haven't gone anywhere. We're right where they put us the first time. Now we do have some members, ancestors that had were forced to make the end of the walk on the long walk. But like I stated, not all of them. There was
mm,
a portion that chose to stay in our indigenous area.
mm. Or is your tribe recognized? Or are they fighting for recognition?
So we gained our state recognition in 2017. Since then, our chief and our council have been readily just adamant on coming up with the documents required for the federal recognition.
That-
Um, Yay!
I believe in spiritual connections, and a lot of times certain spirits don't want Native people to succeed, so we shall continue.
Yes, yes. So I was just explaining that our tribe received their state recognition in 2017, and so we're in the process of applying for our federal. It is a very tedious process, and some tribes, they've been trying since the 60s and still can't gain that federal recognition.
Okay, 2017 is not a very long time,
Mm-mm.
and that's really awesome. How many tribes in Louisiana or federal or exist?
So there's actually quite a few. I believe there's two or three federally recognized and probably a dozen state recognized and others that are not recognized by either.
By
Due
each.
to
Now, are you part of the Caddo Confederacy?
in history, we were part of the villages that would have coexisted with them. I personally speak a Caddo Hassani language. That's more of where my background comes from and what my experiences were growing up. So we, in proximity, were very, very close with them.
Oh, very close, but you're no longer a part of each other.
They have not publicly recognized the Natchitoches tribe as relation to the Caddo Nation, due to the fact that the members of the Natchitoches tribe are descendants of ancestors who didn't leave the Louisiana area. We didn't make the merge, so none of our ancestors that stayed in Louisiana were added to those DAO rolls.
Okay, can you tell me about the day that this happened? I posted a picture. Can you let me know what's going on in here and what he's holding up?
Absolutely. So was a groundbreaking moment for our people. This was the day we celebrated our state recognition. So in this picture, you have a lot of council members, but the two gentlemen holding the document are going to be our chief, Fred, and state representative Kenneth Cox, who is also a member of our tribe.
Oh, that's awesome. What did you do any celebrations or any festivals, powwows to celebrate that special moment?
So we kept those very private and very behind closed doors, and it was really a lot of reconnecting for a lot of family members. A lot of tribal enrollment members at that time were so brand new to even the concept of accepting their indigenous roots. So a lot of them were still very much in the infancy of learning their indigenous ways. So this was really a first opportunity for them to come and meet other members like me who had a little bit more of an indigenously raised background. It wasn't but about maybe 6 months before this picture that they came and spoke with me about joining. Before that, I had already, kind of been on my own journey in discovery, and it was getting a little bit of headway through Facebook. And one of those council members in that picture were able to contact me, and through some ancestry research, figured out that I was, pretty much right in the middle with all of them, and then it would be a blessing and an asset for me to be there and help them.
Now, these are your council chiefs. Can you tell me who's who in the pictures and their functions?
Absolutely. So at the top there is going to be our two chiefs. We have our chief Fred and then our vice chief Miss Jeanette. Coming down to the next row, you're going to find your council members who hold more titles in relation to our secretary, our coat of arms, I think our treasurer. Um, let's see, and Clement. Oh, I got to tell you about Mr. Clement at the bottom down
I
here.
can't wait to hear.
He is our French ambassador. So Clement's ancestors are very much part of our tribe. He is a registered member, but he was born and raised in the North.
Wow.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And what are you guys planning in the near future?
I recently stepped up to be in charge of the powwow committee. We did stand down for a couple of years due to COVID, primarily because Louisiana was hit very hard. It was a target area, and we just weren't willing to take any of those risks for our elders primarily. So this will be our first year back since COVID, and we decided to go real big this year. We have rented a pavilion and practice field at the local college at NSU there in Natchitoches. So we're going to be in the heart of the city with plenty of room and lots of vendors. We'll have demonstrations beforehand, some dance and drum demonstrations so that they can do a more hands-on learning with those things. We have some MMIW coming to do demonstrations. My tribal son is a spoken word artist out of California, and so he'll make the trip in and do some pieces. Um, and so it'll just be, a lot of interesting, fun things happening, beading classes. We're going to have a member there that will help you learn to make your first medicine bag. Um, we're going to honor our past while celebrating our future is what we're going to do. And we're going to party like we do in Louisiana.
Okay, because of the technical difficulties, um, the format of the program is not exactly. Let's start with your name, your tribal name, and your title in your tribe and what you have been doing to promote.
Okay. Howie, thank you for having me. Yata Wil Sil. I am Woman Across the River. My government name is Audrika Young, and I'm the Education Director for the Natchitoches Tribe of Louisiana. I'm also their storyteller, their ceremony holder, water protector, and I guess this year president of the Powwow Committee. Some of the things that I do as a private business is that I travel to teach Indigenous culture, history, and current events. I believe that due to my different ethnicity backgrounds, that I'm kind of in a unique position, and that I can kind of explain things to people who think they look like me in a way that they may understand it better.
Oh, that's awesome. When is the powwow, dear?
November 6th in Natchitoches, Louisiana.
We got to
November
try to
6th.
get there.
Yes. Oh, I would be honored. Please
Yeah.
come. We'll
Oh,
feed you.
that's so wonderful. That's wonderful. And how many days is the powwow?
It'll just be that Saturday. Our demonstrations will start at 10 a.m. and our festivities will end at 6.
Oh, one day?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We want everyone to come, of course, for the weekend, but Natchitoches has such a unique history that we want them to have the true Louisiana experience.
Oh, that's wonderful. To be an intertribal powwow or just a tribal nation powwow?
So it will be intertribal. Even some of our inner circle are actually going to be visiting from other tribes. But what we are doing slightly different with this one is that we're going to do a traditional gifting powwow. We've decided to go back, to those real basic roots and get back to our gifting more than monetary.
That's great. think Firebird, you froze again.
Uh-oh, doggone it. She has had such a hard time with that.
I know. Wow. But yeah, that's great. We definitely have to make that a trip. It's too bad it wasn't a full weekend powwow.
You will highly be surprised by our little town. There's quite a bit to
Mm,
do, and it doesn't matter where you're at in Natchitoches. You're going to be with our members, and you're going to
mm,
be seeing a very important part of our culture. Louisiana is very different in the aspect that the whole state is influenced by indigenous, by the French, by the Spanish,
mm,
the African cultures and communities.
mhm,
We even have a tribe not very far from here who hold tamale festivals.
mm.
So you're going to find that embedded anywhere you go in the state.
This is Firebird calling now. I guess she's having an issue. Hi, Firebird.
Hi, just ask her more questions and
Yeah,
apologize to her.
that's what I'm
There,
doing.
it's technical things over here with the lines and things like that, but
Okay.
keep it going.
Yes,
I appreciate it.
sure.
Um, ask her if other nations are going to join in, or is it just a tribal nation powwow?
Okay, gotcha. All right. So you're gonna continue to try to come in.
Yeah, I'm there, but I'm frozen.
You're not on the screen anymore.
Oh, okay, but okay, it's frozen. But you go ahead and carry it.
Okay.
I'll try to do it again,
Okay.
but keep carrying it.
All righty. Yeah, I'm sorry. So she's having some issues, but I will continue to conduct the interview. So yeah, so you were saying that there's a lot to do, and there was some other another nation that's not too far that does a celebration as well. That's where you left off at, I think.
Yes, yes. See, that's one of the really phenomenal things about Louisiana. It really doesn't matter where you're at in the state. You're going to get some rich cultural aspects
Mm.
to things, from the dining to the people, the landscape. You know, you really can't come to our state and not get that.
This is her again. Uh huh.
Yeah, it's still frozen. But did you ask her?
She was no, she was in the middle of talking.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
But stay on the line.
Yeah. Oh, you want me to keep you on the phone?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if she'll be able to hear you though. That's the only
No,
thing.
no, no. I'll tell you what to say.
Oh, okay. All right. Hold on. Yeah. So she wants to know. Firebird wants to know. Well, I'll let you finish your thought first. Yeah. So you're saying there's a lot to do. Yeah, and me personally, I've never been to Louisiana, so I would definitely really be looking forward to coming.
You're definitely stepping into an entirely different world. You have
Mm,
to remember that this state was not part of much of the United States for a very long time. And the part of the vast area that it covered in the Louisiana Purchase. And then you bring all those people together now in this tiny, teeny little area, and there's so much culture and so much beauty. And
mm. Wow, amazing. Firebird wants me to ask if the powwow will have other nations joining in.
absolutely, even part of our powwow circle is going to be members of other tribes this year. We definitely want to encourage anyone to come who wants to come. This is going to be a very traditional powwow, and that we're just happening to be opening to the public. So, in that sense, we're going to do a gifting powwow. We're not doing the traditional prizes in the sense of monetary money. We're going to honor some of our veteran elders and our currently serving. We're really taking it back to that traditional beginning.
Mm.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. And I apologize. I have no control over technology. I actually believe it's the cable company here having issues sometimes with their Wi-Fi. But thanks for being a trooper and sticking in there with us. And
Absolutely.
yes, I appreciate it so much. And you're a beautiful spirit. And when
Hmm.
you have your powwow, I would appreciate if you post anything up on my wall. I can announce now that we're going to be having a indigenous parade in New York City. It's official, and we have our permit, and I'm calling in the tribes. And actually, that's going to be October. So your powwow and our parade will be back and
Back
back
to back.
with each
Oh
other.
wow.
Yeah.
And my birthday is in October, so that's
Oh
pretty
wow.
special.
Yeah, that's very, very spiritual. And, the little forces that be might be trying to stop us from spreading the word. You know, Fierce Truth Seeker and I, we're very spiritual as you are. And we know about the little people doing things spiritually to hinder.
Absolutely.
And, yes, absolutely. I
We
wanted
feed
to
them a
ask
little
you,
bit
do
of
you
Easter
have
brownie.
a museum? Yes. Do you guys have a museum?
So there are museums in the area that will carry some of our items, but the tribe itself just recently was able to obtain land to legally own. And so we are in the process now of building our office and cultural center.
Oh, okay. And that will be in Natchitoches,
So it will actually be in Camden,
Louisiana.
Louisiana, which is part of Natchitoches Parish.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So you building your office and everything. Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes, ma'am.
Please keep us informed. And thank you so Yes, and thank you so much for hanging in there. We would love to have you back on. I wanted to discuss more of the history and the wars and everything with you. So maybe we can do a part two. That would be wonderful.
Absolutely, I would love that. I will talk to anybody who will listen. I know that I'm
Oh,
in a
you're
really
so
unique
wonderful.
position.
And maybe
Hmm.
you can invite one of your wonderful chiefs to sit with you and
Absolutely.
educate us.
Absolutely. I can certainly
That
do
would be
that. You just
wonderful
have to
too.
tune in.
Hmm.
And can you give the audience your phone number and email to your future office or your what you use now for people to get in contact with you, for them to find out more about you and what it
Um,
is that you're trying
so I would
to
actually
achieve
recommend at this time,
regulation.
we're losing you again,
Yeah, you're
beautiful.
breaking up badly, Firebird.
At this time, I would recommend reaching out through the information located on the website. Due to the construction of the office, sometimes those phone lines aren't going to be readily available because the building is in the middle of construction.
Hmm. That makes sense. That makes sense.
We're
I think
getting
this is
there.
her. I
It's a
think this
long
is
process.
Yeah. This is her calling again. Hi, Firebird.
Hi, are you going? Are we still functioning?
Yeah, but you're frozen.
Oh, okay, that's all right. Ask her for email, phone number, and everything,
Yeah,
and tell her to forgive me. It still will be aired and your contribution will be greatly appreciated on there.
Yeah. So yeah, she was in the middle of doing that right when you called.
Okay, carry on.
Okay. So yeah, so you can continue with explaining how people can contact you, and some people just came in, um, just joined in, so you can let them know again how they can get in contact with you.
Absolutely. So the Natchitoches Tribe of Louisiana.org is going to be the easiest way to contact our offices. Our council members' information is going to be located there. Um, we are under construction at our office currently, so we won't always have those lines at the office available, but you can find other members of our council's contact information on there as well. Then on Facebook, my private entity and my company is Have Mott's Will Travel, so there's a Facebook page for that that also has the link back to my tribe.
Okay, great, great, and yeah, so Firebird is I just lost her on the phone. But anyway, yes, we definitely will probably have to do a part two with you as
Absolutely.
well,
I
and I
would love
definitely
to
would
do
like to have you on my show as well. I have a indigenous television program. Um,
Red
it's
Roadies. Yes,
the Red
I'm
Roadies.
highly aware.
Oh, great, great. Yeah,
Yes.
so I have a YouTube channel and also a public access television program as well. And definitely, I would love to have you on my show.
Anytime you let me know. I know that I'm very fortunate to be in the position that I'm in with my people to get to share their stories and their knowledge and their history. And I kind of am willing to talk to anybody who will listen.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely a pleasure having you on here.
Javi, thank you.
Yeah. Um, does your what should I say? Do you also what else do you do in terms of like the culture?
Me personally, or as like with
Well,
my
I
tribe.
guess as y'all do like spiritual things like I guess I could say like sweats and things of that nature.
Absolutely. So I am the one who kind of holds all ceremony at this time. Our most recent was a naming ceremony, and I got to sit down with more than 20 members at that ceremony. So that was pretty beautiful.
Mm,
COVID did kind of slow us down in a lot of those endeavors because we weren't allowed to be in large numbers together. Louisiana was hit so hard; they were some of the strictest laws and like for instance, because I technically live in Texas, if I were to go there when the restrictions were put in place, I had to quarantine there for 14 days before
mm,
I could go and make contact with my tribe and do what I was doing with them.
wow.
So it really hindered a lot of that. So we're just now getting able to get back into the swing of that.
Mm,
Of course, we'll hold the ceremonies that are appropriate and required to hold as members before powwow. We'll hold the blessing ceremony the morning of. We'll bless the circle
You're
and
definitely stepping into an entirely
um,
different.
do the things that we're supposed to do then. And we're hoping to pick up um, towards the end of the summer with more of the dances and the festivals now that the restrictions are getting
That
lifted.
area that it covered in the Louisiana
oh, here
Purchase.
she is.
Hey,
Now it's a tiny, teeny little area.
better late than never. That's why
Exactly.
it's good to have a co-host, a historian. He's a historian, and he's very interested in your culture. You're sharing with us. I also saw some history of Washita connection and a lot of things, tribal things happening in Louisiana that the world should know about. And I definitely apologize to you, and we will have you back on a part two. Maybe speak of the wars and all the good things you have planned.
We're going to honor some of them.
Absolutely. I look forward to it. Y'all just let me know when.
Really
Okay, dear, it'll be soon because your powwow is coming up.
Yes, ma'am. In November, we're on the countdown.
Okay, so can you tell the audience the date of the powwow again, the area it's located in, if it's listed on your website,
Absolutely.
and give them your website address?
Absolutely. So our powwow will take place on November 6th in Natchitoches, Louisiana. We will be located at the NSU campus at their pavilion and practice field for our event. You can find information on the tribe's website at the natchitochestribesoflouisiana.org. It will have numerous flyers and updated information. It has some vendors forms, some sponsorship forms. You name it, it's going to be on that website for you. And you're welcome to come to my page on Facebook, the Have Mox Will Travel, and I'll keep current information on there too in regards to our powwow.
Oh, can you do me a favor? When you can you post that on my page on Facebook today?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That would be wonderful. And your email for communication between people is?
You can reach me at havemoxwilltravel@gmail.com. Due to me sitting on council, I can put you in contact with anyone that would need.
All right, dear. I thank you so much. I thank both of you. Fierce Truth Seeker of the Red Road East. He's affiliated show on YouTube. He does, and he touches on many aspects of history of indigenous here, and it's wonderful. And I thank him so much for getting me through today. And we're
Such
definitely,
a trooper.
yeah, he's a big trooper. He's a sweetheart, and we'll get back to you hopefully before the powwow, or maybe even on the day of the powwow. We can do a live stream from the powwow. You never know. Sounds
Absolutely.
wonderful. You know, we're all about, like you are, supporting and each other, and native pride and more, and getting the word out about our particular cultures. And not I like what someone wrote, we don't have to hide anymore, from your I think it was in one of your newspapers. They said we don't have to hide anymore as native people, and that's just wonderful. So
I
until,
appreciate.
yes. And do you have anything else to add for us to know today?
I just so very much appreciate the invite. Know that one of the things that I try very hard is to give back. So if there's ever a time that I can, you know, lend a hand, help you with something that you have going on, please let me know.
Well, we have the parade.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can get the word out to the tri-state area. We're starting small. We had some glitches like what I had today, but we had it with other areas, and we finally got something secure, and we're going to move forward. Being that it was a delay, I don't expect it to be big this year, but we'll do our best to represent on 6th Avenue in beautiful downtown New York City, the Big Apple. We'll be making history. I remember a
Wow.
police officer saying, "Oh, You're Indian. Oh, what part of India are you for?" I said, "No, I'm indigenous." He said, "Where in India are you from?" I said, "I'm from here." He said, "I never heard of American Indians having parades in New York." I said, "Well, we've been trying to make history with it for a long time, and we finally got it right.
Oh, I'm
Everyone
so
has a
excited for
parade.
you.
Everyone has a parade but us in New York. I mean, people from India, people from Africa, people from Ireland, uh, everybody's celebrating. We're finally getting our shot.
Hmm.
So
That's really
whatever you
awesome,
can
you
do,
guys.
huh?
That is so amazing. I'm so happy
He
for you.
wanted to know what
And
part of India I was from
and
because
Firebird
they have a big parade.
and Firebird, we have to give you your props because this was your brainchild for the parade
Yeah, for
Oh,
yeah. I did
for a
one.
long time.
I did one in 2000, around about that time, but it wasn't annual. This one is supposed to be annual,
oh,
and we'll just do our best this year. So
absolutely.
so whatever you can do to spread the word on your
Course.
page,
Of
we'll
course.
appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I actually have quite a few friends up around that area and even some First Nations right across the border into Canada.
Oh,
We
awesome!
have a
Spread the
Canadian
word.
ambassador even.
Yes, spread the word. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, we'll get your word out, I promise.
where we're supposed to line up at is actually a hop and a skip from the famous Times Square area,
Love
where
it.
all the shows and theaters are. So, I mean, I'm very honored that they gave us that spot,
That
that it's
seems
wonderful. They just had a Chinese parade. They
mhm.
beat us out there again. So we're trying to do our best. So that's a way you can help me. Help us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It seems like it was meant to be, even if it took a little time.
Yes.
Uh-oh, you're starting to freeze again, beautiful.
Yeah, I'm freezing. Something's trying to block me. So you have a beautiful day, sweetheart. And we'll be in touch with you real soon. And we're going to put up a parade Facebook page and I think a private group to get the word out there and other registrations. But you can start passing the word.
Absolutely. I so look forward to promoting this event for you guys. It's going to be perfect and
Oh,
wonderful.
thank you, thank you.
I
Yeah,
feel so bad she's had so much trouble.
I know, I know. Yeah, she's calling now. Yes, Firebird.
Yeah, just tell her she can pass the word. Tell her we're going to put a Facebook page up there and a group page.
Yeah. So she said you can pass the word, and we're gonna have a Facebook page and what other page?
A private group page for the
And a
parade.
private group page for the parade.
I very much look forward to it.
Okay. Anything else, Firebird?
No, that's it. And tell her thank you so much.
She said thank you so much.
And tell
Oh,
her,
Hawaii, thank you.
Yeah. She said thank you too, Firebird.
oh, blessings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Sign out for me.
I sure will. So yeah, so we will definitely love to have you back, and also some of your council members, tribal members, they're
Absolutely.
definitely welcome. Um, and before we sign out, I would also like to announce that the Red Road East will be live at 3:30 on the Red Road East channel. So those who are in the chat who are listening, we will be live at 3:30. Okay. And any other closing thoughts that you would like to share?
I very much
That's
appreciate the
it. Tell
opportunity,
her
even
thank
with
you.
some technical
Peace and
difficulties.
blessings.
Hold on 1 second. No, and I was talking to her, Firebird.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. Say that again.
No worries. I was just saying how much I appreciated that you guys invited me. Even
Mm.
with the technical difficulties, I think it was the beginning of a great conversation, and I look forward to continuing it with both of you.
Likewise, likewise. Okay. So, all right, everyone. Sis, that's just how time flies when you're having fun. But it was good. The energy was great, and we will do this again. So, on that note, I will sign out saying, Do the dog, uh-huh, eh.